All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining from. My name is Baliqees Salaudeen-Ibrahim, and I'm the co-founder, CEO of Green Republic Farms. And today, we're commemorating International Women's Day with inspiring set of women who are leading change in the agriculture sector in Nigeria. For us at Green Republic Farms, we are totally inspired by the work they are doing in their respective businesses, offices, and it's really inspiring to see that we have more women who have been inspired by their work to venture into the agricultural sector, through innovation, agribusinesses. Many people have seen them as role models and mentors, and we thought, why not bring this powerhouse together and let's hear from them, their experience, challenges, expectations, what to look out for, moving forward, especially in the agricultural sector with this so many uncertainty that surrounds it currently in Nigeria. And we still have this woman standing strong. So this afternoon, I'm not going to take so much of your time. I'm not going to be doing a lot of the talking. I'm just going to be hosting this session, and I'm going to be giving the floor for them to share. So we have 3 segments. One, we're going to be having a keynote address, and then we're going to have a panel discussion, and we're going to have a story session. So the story is going to feature one of these women who would share our challenges, our transition, from being a farmer into a food processor. It's a challenge. I mean, I've heard a story, and I think it's something that should be shared across board to all of you to also learn about our work. And then for our panelists, they're going to be sharing expertise on certain questions that we have curated for them, where you can learn from. So we expect that you are here prepared to learn, listen in, don't let anything distract you in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes that we're going to be together. Just be focused on these women and listen to them attentively. Keep your questions down. We're going to have question and answer sessions. And then for our keynote address, which we're going to be starting with, is going to take us 10 minutes. And this address is going to deep dive into some strategy, right? And I know that Funmi is ready. She even joined the call before me. So it's really exciting time. And after our keynote address, we're going to have 5 minutes for Q&A. So even from our panelists, if you have questions for her, from our audience, if you have questions for her, you can just note them down. After our keynote address, we're going to dive into it. So I'm just going to do a brief of reading our keynote speaker's bio. But before then, I want you to put in the chat box, everybody, your name, where you're joining from, and what inspired you the most in the agricultural sector. I know we are all expert. I know we're all inspired. Some people will say they're inspired about agriculture because of the food, right? Yeah, I know. So what inspired you the most when it comes to agriculture? So please just put your name, where you're joining us from, and what inspired you the most when it comes to agriculture. So this afternoon, we're going to be joined by Funmi Omoyele, who is the coordinator of the Lagos Agri-Innovation Club. The Lagos Agri-Innovation Club is under the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. So it's really, really an honor to have Funmi on this call with us this afternoon. So I'm going to read our bio to give you an insight when it comes to our expertise. So Funmi is a passionate entrepreneur, management consultant, and governance professional with over a decade of experience spanning human capital development, business consulting, event management, and public service. A visionary leader, which she is. She has established herself as a catalyst for innovation, growth, and community transformation across Africa. I mean, I can really testify to this. In governance, Funmi has excelled as a special assistant to the governor of Lagos State and a pioneer fellow of the Latif Jakonde Leadership Academy She has led impactful projects such as Empower Lagos, the Lagos Renewable Energy Summit, Onjeko Discount Market, Lagos Agrithon, and the Lagos Agrinnovation Summit, driving innovation, sustainability, and improved livelihoods across the state. Our remarkable contributions earned her as the Ambassador Excellence Award from the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, and the Special Recognition Award from the Campus Eddies Award. Funmi is also the initiator and pioneer production manager of the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy Radio's Greater Lagos Insight Show, a program airing weekly on Echo 89.7 FM, reaching over 2 million Lagos residents while hearing. As a consultant to the Ministry of Agriculture, she played a pivotal role in enhancing food accessibility through the Onjeko Discount Market and advancing sustainable agriculture via the Lagos Agrinnovation Summit, positioning herself as a key driver of progress in this sector. An economics graduate from the University of Lagos, Funmi also holds a professional certificate in project management from the British School of Project Management, UK. She has completed an executive course on mastering the application of economics and strategy in the public sector at Lagos Business School, Pan-Atlantic University, and a leadership value course from the African Leadership Initiative, West Africa. She is an active member of the Nigerian Institute of Management, Chartered, and Women in Management Business and the Public Service. With our extensive expertise, Funmi remains deeply committed to fostering innovation, empowering community, and inspiring positive change across Africa and beyond. I mean, personally, I'm in awe of this amazing performance. This is huge. And the transitioning, the connecting, she's able to connect everything to our undergraduate studies. So it's really inspiring to have Funmi Omoyele as our keynote speaker this afternoon. So I'll give the floor now to Funmi. I'll stop sharing my screen so she can share a presentation. Thank you so much, Funmi, once again for joining us. And yes, over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm trying to at least make my face. I hope you can see me as well. Okay, it's good to be here. I'll start with Happy International Women's Day. It's been a lot of excitement all day with all the posts, and it's really so good to see everyone celebrating women across different sectors, and really Agri here feels like home. So I'd like to start with saying thank you, Baliqees, Salaudeen, the team lead for Green Republic's farm, for hosting this event today. Thank you. So we'll just dive right into it. My name is Funmi Omoyele, as Baliqees had said. So today, my topic is women leading the future of agribusiness in Nigeria and Africa. And okay, so agriculture is really more than an industry. It is the lifeblood of our continent. And I think that we would all agree to that. Providing livelihoods to millions, feeding our growing population, contributing significantly to GDP, and estimated to reach $880 billion value in 2030. However, for far too long, women, the true custodians of food production, processing, and trade, have been overlooked, underfunded, and underrepresented in decision-making spaces. And I think that we're about to change that. Today, we are here to recognize our indispensable role and chart a path for our greater empowerment, and leadership in agribusiness, not just through words, but through meaningful action, investment, and innovation. I hope we're all ready. So agriculture is the second largest industrial sector in Africa and is projected to grow by 6% per annum until 2030. And from this chart, you can see that as of 2008, agriculture was valued at 220 billion USD and is intended or projected really to grow at 6% every year up until 2030. And we're in 2025, so it's looking good. So 62% of economically active women in agriculture 62% of economically active women in Africa work in agriculture. And if you look at this bar chart, you'll see different countries in Africa represented here: Rwanda, Malawi, Burkina Faso, Tanzania, Angola, all the way to Nigeria, which is, we have 27% of economically viable women in Nigeria work in agriculture. And I think that we all can change that narrative, increasing the number of women that we have work economically, not just work, economically work in agriculture with results. And the role of women in agribusiness. According to the World Bank Group, women contribute immensely to Africa's agricultural sector, making up nearly 50% of the agricultural workforce. From smallholder farming to large-scale agribusiness ventures, women are truly the backbone of food security, supply chains, and rural economies. Women are responsible for a significant portion of food production, processing, and distribution, yet we control less than 20% of the agricultural resources, such as land, finance, and technology in Africa. Despite these challenges, women are shaping the future of agribusiness in Africa. We are innovators, entrepreneurs, and market leaders in agro-processing, digital farming, and sustainable agriculture. Our contributions are unlocking new opportunities in food security, export markets, and value chain development. Now, this is interesting. We know that we have quite we have some women transforming agribusiness in Africa, and I would feature only about 5 of them. But I'll start with Ms. Abisola Olusoya, the first female and a 2-time honorable commissioner for Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems in Lagos State. She's made significant contributions to the revenue gains of the ministry, increasing the internally generated revenue contributions by 420%, and have remained at the billion mark since 2021. She's an advocate for sustainable food systems. She has spearheaded several initiatives like Ounje Eco, Lagos Agrinnovation Club, Food Festival, which is agro-tourism, Central Logistics Hub Ekpe, Middle Level Hubs. Some of you might be familiar with the Fresh Food Hub at Mushin. We have 4 others coming up across Lagos as well, Eco Flavors, and so many other projects. We have Ada from Nigeria, founder of Agro Ventures, an investment firm supporting agribusiness startups, driving food production and sustainability. We have Josephine from Uganda, founder of Victoria Seeds, a company that enhances women farmers access to quality seeds and agronomic training. Lindiwe from Zimbabwe, a leading advocate for climate-smart agriculture, ensuring that women have a voice in shaping agricultural policies. Afyong from Nigeria, CEO of Fruits, Nigeria's largest dried fruit processing company. I could mention a whole lot more, but I decided to stick with these 5. I know that somewhere on the program, we have another speaker that would also feature trailblazing women in agriculture. So moving on to the barriers to women's leadership in agribusiness. While progress has been made, there remain significant barriers preventing women from fully maximizing their potential in agribusiness. Why? Limited access to finance, land ownership inequality, technological gaps, market access challenges, and climate change and sustainability issues. Innovations. The future of agriculture depends on innovation, from precision farming and climate-smart technologies to digital platforms that enhance productivity and market access. For women, technology represents a game changer. How do we achieve this? By creating digital tools for financial inclusions, platforms such as mobile banking and blockchain technology are breaking barriers by providing women with access to credit savings and insurance. Tools like create agri-tech solutions, smart irrigation, AI-driven soil analysis, mobile apps are revolutionizing farming, enabling women to make data-driven decisions. I know that Baliqees at the Green Republic's farm, they already utilize some of these proposed solutions. Sustainable farming practices. Climate change disproportionately affects women farmers. Introducing drought-resistant crops, vertical farming, and regenerate agriculture can enhance resilience and food security. Now, finance. Unlocking opportunities for women farmers. Access to farm finance remains one of the biggest barriers to women's agricultural success. Women receive only 7% of total agricultural investment despite their productivity potentials. What can we do? We can create microfinance and cooperative models. We can create gender-responsive credit policies and also public-private partnerships. Market access. And by the way, this is the fresh food hub at Mushin for some of you that haven't visited yet. Bridging the gap. Even when women produce high quality agricultural products, they often struggle to access markets. We must address the barriers that limit their ability to sell at competitive prices by women-led business networks, e-commerce and digital marketplaces, fair trade and certification programs. Call to action. Empowering women in agriculture is not just about equity. It is about economic growth, food security, and sustainable development. As we mark this International Women's Day, let us commit to advocating for policy reforms that promote women's land rights, financial inclusion, and entrepreneurship, investing in women-led agribusinesses through targeted funding and training programs, leveraging technology and innovation to bridge gender gap in agricultural productivity, strengthening networks and mentorship opportunities for women in agribusiness, and finally, supporting women's leadership in policy making at all levels. My final thoughts. The future of agribusiness in Nigeria and Africa is undoubtedly female-led, technology-driven, and innovation-focused. Today, we are not just celebrating women in agriculture, we are igniting a movement to amplify our voices, recognize our innovations, and support our own businesses. With the right resources, women can transform agribusiness into a powerhouse for economic growth and food security. Let's come together to commit to action through investment, mentorship, and policy support to shape a more inclusive agricultural future. Women are not just participants. We are pioneers, leaders, and decision makers in agribusiness. Happy International Women's Day. Let's accelerate for action. Thank you.
Thank you so much Funmi. I mean, I think this is like very powerful, and I sincerely appreciate the research that has gone into this presentation, highlighting all the successful, some of the successful women that we also have pushing the agricultural agenda in their respectful countries across the continent. So thank you so much. Do we have questions for me before we go into our panel session? Because personally for me, I noted quite a lot of things from Funmi's session, and it's also very inspiring to see the amazing work that the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food System under the leadership of Honorable Abisola is doing to enhance agriculture and food production in the state. So I think this is a knowledge for many to understand the strategy that is being used, that is being explored in the state, and see how other states can also pick one or two and replicate. So do we have questions for me? Okay, so I would assume that we have questions, but we're trying to put them together. So I'm going to now pull our panel session together. I mean, Funmi, thank you. I've seen a lot of, thumbs up for you in the chat. Everybody enjoyed your presentation. Very, very short and precise. So I'm going to be reading the profile of our panelists. And I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen the flyer already, and you have seen the powerhouse that we've brought together. So some of them decided not to also share their full bio with me, so it's okay. I'll just say their name and their and the organization they work with. But I think I have Oluwadamilola Awe's profile, which I'm going to be reading out to everyone. So this afternoon, we're going to be joined by Oluwadamilola Awe as one of the panelists, who is a quantity surveyor turned farmer. And the founder of DDEE Farms, an agriculture company specializing in the production, marketing, selling, and distribution of agricultural produce. A graduate of the University of Lagos, another Unilag panelist today. Oluwadamilola has successfully transitioned from a career in quantity surveying to becoming a trailblazer in agricultural industry. With almost a decade of experience in agriculture, Oluwadamilola has worked extensively in all aspects of the field. Passion for agriculture has driven her to empower others, in particular, women and youth. To date, she has trained over 1,000 students and over 500 widows in various aspects of agriculture, providing them with the tools and knowledge necessary to succeed in this space. Oluwadamilola's dedication to agriculture has earned her numerous accolades and awards, which includes the 2022 Oxfam Female Food Hero Award, recognizing her outstanding contributions to food security and women's empowerment, 2024 Agropreneur of the Year Award, organized by the Consulate of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Nigeria, honoring our innovative and entrepreneurial spirit in the agricultural sector. As a role model for women in agriculture and inspiration to all of those who are aspiring to come into this space, Oluwadamilola continues to pave the way for future generations for agricultural leaders. A drive, and unwavering commitment to agriculture solidify our position as a true leader in the field, also known as global farmer. So a lot of people call her global farmer. She is an aggregator, also connecting farmers to market, helping them sell their produce fast and at best rate. She is a force to be reckoned with in the agricultural sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our first panelist, Oluwadamilola Awe. So I know that we've all heard from Funmi, and I don't want Funmi to leave this call because I really want her to also get a grip of the amazing work our panelist is doing. So if you have questions, please just keep them coming and we'll ask all together after the panel session. As I said, I want to keep this session as brief as possible and as insightful as it can be. So we also have another panelist, Adanne Uche, who is the founder at this Agro Processing Limited. I mean, Adanne's story is out there, how she's converting food into more nutritious value. I mean, food processing, a lot of us like see it as what is there anything there, but this woman is actually leading in that space. We also have one of our panelists, Etimbuk, Imuk, who is the founder of Eti Farms Global Limited. So if you have been hearing about mushrooms farming, oh my God, she's your go-to person, expert in that space, from fresh mushrooms to dried mushrooms. She is your go-to person. And our last speaker, panelist today is Ameenah Kazeem, who is the founder of Ofadahub Nigeria. I know a lot of us love to eat Ofada, but we don't even know the source of where this Ofada is coming from. We don't even know how it's been planted, how it's been, processed, how we get it at the store, at the market. Ameenah is your go-to expert in this regard. So this afternoon, we are bringing the powerhouses together. So I'm going to be spotlighting them. So Ameenah, team, Oluwadamilola, kindly unmute your video, Adanne, so that we can have this session. This is going to be an amazing panel. I can feel it. Because of us, Oluwadamilola did not go to farm today. She's always at the farm.
I'll still go. Still going, actually.
She's still going. If it doesn't rain, she will go. Okay, no problem. She's still going to go. All right. So I'm going to also spotlight a team. I mean, mushrooms. A lot of you don't know that mushroom is good, Abby. You will know today. All right.
Hi,
So
hi.
So because I didn't get Ameenah, Adanne, and Etimbuk's profile, I'll just give them 1 minute to give us an insight about the work they're doing and what inspired them in their different fields. So I'm going to start with Ameenah.
Hi, Baliqees. Good afternoon. Happy International Women's Day. I might have sent you my personal bio.
Maybe I missed that. So let's just skip it to this.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy International Women's Day to you all, because I want to believe you are all women here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
So my name is Ameenah Kazeem. Like Baliqees said earlier, I am the founder of Ofadahub Nigeria Limited. Ofadahub is an agro processing company that is ensuring healthy and safe processing of one of Nigeria's local rice, known as the Ofada rice, through partnership with smallholder farmers. Our goal is to ensure that the local rice is adequately processed well enough to put it at a higher competitive advantage to the imported rice brand. So over the years, we've been able to partner with over 150 smallholder farmers and counting, and we have a total of 10 distributors, both here in Nigeria and outside the country. We also now currently have a branch of our business in Canada, and we supply over 50 African stores in diaspora and counting. We have also introduced 4 additional complementary products to make the consumption of this local rice easier for our target audience. Like I said earlier, our goal is to ensure that this species of local rice is promoted to the nooks and crannies of the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ameenah. I mean, who doesn't like Ofada rice? Who doesn't? Why won't you?
There are some people like that, but I think I'm here to change their mind.
Please help us to change their mindset. And we're really inspired by what you're doing. So we move now to Adanne, Uche. So don't mind all of my panelists. They're very busy people. They can be very busy behind the camera. So it's okay. So while we wait for Adanne, I think we'll go with Eti. Eti, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Baliqees. Thank you so much for putting this together. Happy International Women's Day to everyone out there. Both the he for she and the actual she's in our midst. We say, you're seeing your head, keep doing what you're doing. Like Baliqees said, my name is Etimbuk Imuk. I'm the founder of Eti Farms Global. So we see ourselves like that one-stop shop for everything mushrooms, and we try our possible best to bust those myths, about mushrooms, right? Like mushroom is not edible, mushroom is poisonous, mushroom is a poor man's meat, mushroom is for fit farms, right? We do our best to show you, right? Not just tell you, show you that all of those things. Yeah, there are bits sides to the story, just like saying mushroom is not edible. We said it's half truth because, of course, not all mushrooms are edible. Some are poisonous. But of course, we're not here telling you to eat poisonous mushrooms. We're here telling you to eat edible mushrooms. So we're transforming mushrooms from that rare delicacy into a staple for every table, right? We have our mushrooms in fresh, dried, and powdered form. And there are so many other things that we're doing with mushrooms. Our goal is just to make people know you can actually enjoy eating healthy, right? We are in Ogun State, Magboro to be precise. Our goal in making mushrooms readily available all year round, we try to make that as much as possible by training people, women most especially, and youths, to show them that you can actually grow mushrooms, right, without having that big expanse of land. With that small space you have with your balcony, with that little capital you think of, right, you can actually start mushrooms in the comfort of your home or that space you have in your compound. We have our products in various supermarkets, and we also deliver to customers and restaurants and a whole lot. Happy to be here to share and to learn from other women. So I believe more would come as the day unfolds. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eti. I mean, we are all getting used to mushrooms, and it's when it comes to climate change, I think mushroom is one of the sustainable action that is being explored, to cut down on meat and life below water, fish, and all of that. So thank you so much for pushing that agenda. So Adanne, do we have you now?
Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm here.
Okay, yeah. So we just wanted to give us 1 minute about Addis Processing Limited.
Sorry. No, I'm not used to. You weak. Hi, good morning, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. So I'm happy to see friendly faces. I'm happy to be here, Baliqees. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Adanne, Uche, and I run Addis Agro Processing Limited. We tend to see ourselves as a wellness boutique where we provide families with healthier options of their cooking ingredients. So I call myself the Queen of Spices. We've even moved on. So it's no more spices now alone. So we have gluten-free flours, we have the new biofortified, people are just realizing it now, biofortified orange flesh with potato flour and herbal tea. So, yeah, what else am I supposed to say? I think it's okay for now. So in the course of the conversation, I will say more. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Adanne. Yes, I mean, I think we need to start transitioning into healthy consumption. So Adanne is really pushing that agenda across all the value chain. So our panel session is in 3 segments. And the first segment is understanding the challenges in this space that we're talking about, the agricultural space. And I'm going to be starting with you, Adanne. Looking at the fact that you are into food processing, access to finance, many women in the agribusiness really struggle. I mean, it's a struggle for many of us in securing funding. So what is the biggest barrier that you think is preventing women from accessing financial resources, from your expertise, from your experience?
Okay, thank you. So this is one of the big problems for a small business. So we need to get that straight. It's for every small business, both male and female. It's always difficult, especially in Nigeria, right? In Africa, because you see our counterparts in other countries in Africa complaining about, not having access to finance. Yeah, even till yesterday, 2 days ago, I was so choked that I needed money. I looked at, I looked at my phone. I'm like, how many banks do I have? Addis have, aside from my personal, but Addis has we are banking with over 5 different banks. And I'm looking here, looking for money. So I started calling all of them, right? I started with, the first bank. I called the account officer. I said, I don't even understand this thing. How you are my account officer and you don't even care about your customers after registering and after opening an account. It's not fair. So what is it that you have for me? Before she now told me right? That there's a loan that is set out for small businesses, and you did not tell me. Okay, looking at my credit record, looking at my turnover in months. So what can you do? She said, oh, okay, we look at it from 3 months, and in 3 months you've done so. If you're going to give you this money, it's not going to be enough. I called the second bank. The second bank said, okay, you can come, just come to the office. I called the third bank, that one, they're just turning me up and down. So the issue is we have a lot of issues, right? One, especially for women, they see women as high risk. I hear that almost every day. Yes, because they are women, they are afraid that okay, one of the programs I went to last week, the woman that was talking gave instance about a woman that wanted to come and take loan, and when they gave her the loan, immediately she got to the house, the husband took the money. Then the second one now came and said, please don't tell my husband, don't tell my husband. Those are the things. So if you can imagine the experience these bankers they get from women, then when other women that are serious now come, they say, oh, you are high risk. I don't want you to use our money to go and give your husband. Or I don't want you to use it and go and feed your family, because women, you know, we are nurturers. If something happens in the home, if in our hearts, we just take the money, whether and give it. So number one, they see us as high risk, which actually shouldn't be, right? Number two is the third bank that I called. They asked me, "Man, what do you have? Do you have any collateral?" I said, "I don't have collateral." Right? I'm not okay. The answer, oh, you have your Addis has a car that's registered. I said, I'm not giving you my car's collateral. So that's another thing. If you see in North, I don't know if anybody in the North, you see that women, they always complain that women don't have land, right? They don't have access to land. It's always registered in the men, their husbands or their brothers. So lack of collateral is a problem. Then before, it used to be lack of information, but I think the information is out there. The thing is which information is right for you, right? Yeah. Then gender biases in funding. This one, we even talked about it. If I was pitching, I said I needed $150,000. People like, oh, this one, what she using 150,000? But the same man will say, I want $1 million. Everybody starts, oh, okay, this one is serious. So that's a bias. That's as in maybe they do it unconsciously, maybe they do it consciously, whatever it is a problem, right, in our society, because some of the culture, you know, in Nigeria prohibits women to own property or to own a business, even though, you know, somehow our mothers or grandmothers, they are, you know, they are traders, but seeing you establishing it properly, they feel like, oh, it's not for a woman, right? Then another issue is grants and loan application complexities. There are a lot of, sometimes you will feel, you will just say, how much is this thing I'm going to feel that they will just stress me like this. You know, there are very lengthy bureaucratic, you know, technical documents that they ask you to bring. Sometimes women do not have it, you know, which is actually a problem. I remember one of the applications, one of the accelerators that I was opportune to be in. That accelerator, I applied twice. I didn't get in. The third time I said, wow, what kind of I said, what is it in this? I had to write to them. What is it? I said, you need to tell me the criteria for people to get into this accelerator, right? And I had to read out my CV. You know, sometimes you just bring out your emo. You know, I had to read out my CVs to them. I said, kind of thing is this? At the end of the day, I actually got it. But these are kind of the boldness they actually need. You know, sometimes when you're going to apply for, you know, funding, they want your loan. You need to be actually bold. Something is scary, you will be wondering, am I going to get this money? I remember the loan that I applied for years back. When I applied and I got it, when they called me, I didn't even believe it. And I said, these people, this loan thing, am I sure am I going to pay back? So fear sometimes takes grip of them. But at the time, I just said, Adanne, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. So I applied. Funny, I got it. And immediately I got that loan, honestly, grants started coming in. So sometimes fear is sometimes a problem for women, you know, accessing funding. Then I know this, we are talking in one of the groups, and a lot of funding opportunities are out there for women also, but I said I talked about having the right one, the one that suits your business. Remember that funding that will kill your business, so you need to actually know which one kills your business. I would suggest, if you want to start, if you can start with grants, it helps you build it, but there are certain level that your business will get to. You actually need to go for a loan. Yeah, that's what I have to say for now. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adanne, and thank you so much also for highlighting your own personal experience. Because I personally like it when you advise people and you're talking from experience. So you're not just saying it. So you're saying it because you have experienced this thing and you're giving them, you know, your best kind of advice on how to go about it. So thank you so much for highlighting all of those barriers in accessing finance. So I'm going to go to Ameenah. She mentioned earlier when she was introducing herself that a market has expanded outside of the country, including Canada. And market access is one of the major problems that agripreneurs face, you know, critically. Not just women now, you know, women farmers, agripreneurs generally. So my question now is, what are some of the most significant challenges you work with farmers, you know, that you have seen that they are facing in reaching competitive market? And probably, you know, sharing from your own strategy on how you're able to get to that level.
Hi everyone, can you still hear me? There's going to be a bit of background noise. They just took the light, so we had to turn on the tempo. I have apologies. All right. So if I heard you clearly, the question is, so what are the challenges that the farmers have with competitive market access, right? All right,
Yes.
thank you for that. So from my experience, one of the number one challenge that these farmers face are the middlemen. It's safe to say the middlemen, they just rip them off literally. And this is because these farmers do not have the resources to connect the markets themselves, and they have to rely on these middlemen, because without the middlemen, I mean, the harvest, they could, especially for, let's not even talk about staple crops right now. How about cash crops? Like, they have a very short lifespan. So they have to play to the tunes of this market, this middleman. One other major problems like the farmers have is that they do not have enough support from the government. A lot of these farmers, a lot of these farmers, right, they are producing on low scale, not large scale. They do not have the resources to promote on large scale. So now imagine that you are producing on low scale and you still can't sell it off. But when the access is there, right, they are able to increase their capacity, produce more and all that. So the impact of not having enough support is that they do not have adequate processing facilities. That is the major problem. So we have a very quality, so I'm using Ofada rice, for example. Ofada rice can be synonymous to the basmati rice that we all know. You see how we all know that basmati rice is a healthier alternative to the other rice brands, right, or rice types. Ofada, probably even elder, is a very healthier alternative. But guess what? Due to lack of adequate processing, the PR is so bad. What people know Ofada rice for, they don't even know how healthy it is until recent times. What they know Ofada rice for is the stones, death. Oh, I've met people, numerous people who come to me and they say, I don't eat because of this. I almost lose my teeth. I almost broke my teeth. It's just a lot. And why? How can a rice that is so healthy be having such bad PR? It's just because there is a lack of inadequate processing facility. So the unorganized farmers in Ogun State, there are about 4 to 6 milling setups. They call them Ibero in Ogun State. So what they do when they harvest is that these farmers, they all converge depending on the location where the farm is in Ogun State. So they go to the, after harvest, they go to the nearest milling setup in Ogun State close to them. Now, note that this milling setup, they can pass for the middlemen. They are set up by individuals, right? And they are, most of them, they have very old processing facilities that are not even 100% efficient anymore. So what do? They take them after they've dried and all that, they take them to the milling machine, to the milling setups. These milling facilities, they mill it for them, and then there's a spread out milling facility where the farmers literally have to sit the entire day and people come and buy them. After milling, the milling facility still fix the selling price for the farmers. They receive the money from those who come to buy. And at the end of the day, they don't start saying, this is the quantity that you need. Because the farmers literally still have to sit there so that when people are coming to buy, they are bargaining, ma, look at my own rice, it's good, it's better, they are literally doing the marketing. The milling facility does not even do anything for them, yet they fix the prices, they collect the money, and at the end of the day, they tell them, oh, this is everything that you were able to sell, and then they give them a token. If we have better facilities, if we have people who are not looking like us, who are not just looking to come and process it, and then you still have to do the entire work, but rather they are linking them to the market and saying, oh, okay, just let us uptake these things and harvest. Let us ensure that it is well processed. We have the resources to link to the consumers, right? So let us promote it. So those are the problems that most of these farmers are facing. Lack of support, mostly financial. Secondly, lack of technical know-how. The farming is just a means to an end for majority of them. That is the only thing that they know. That is their lifelong family tradition. They just have to farm to make ends meet. So they mostly do not care about the healthy aspect, or they just want to get the money out. So the lack of support, the lack of technical know-how and skills beyond the farming. I mean, they have the knowledge to do the actual farming, but they do not have the knowledge when it comes to processing and making it and adding value to the produce. They do not have that skill, lack of processing facility, and lack of financial support to scale up.
Yes, thank you so much, Ameenah. I think, yes, you've really made some really valid point. You mentioned the aggregators creating more barriers for these agripreneurs. But I mean, we also have on the call Oluwadamilola, who is pushing that market access, for farmers. But I think we need, and ensuring that they get good rate at selling their produce. But I think we need to have more of Oluwadamilola who would not rip off these farmers, these agripreneurs, and enable them to have access to market directly or indirectly and see make tangible profit. And yes, I think there is also need for bridging the gap in terms of skills development strategically for agripreneurs in market access. So thank you so much, Ameenah, for highlighting all of those. I'll move to Eti. So Adanne has talked about finance, access to finance, the barriers. I want you to, give us an insight. I know you're not a government official, but let us look at policy and institutional barriers. Right. You are currently farming in Ogun State, for example. I don't want to imagine what you're experiencing. So are there specific policies or regulations that make it harder for women in agriculture to secure funding or expand their market reach?
Yeah, thank you so much, Baliqees. Yeah, so there are so many policies, right? Some written down and some unsaid rules, right, that affect especially women. We can say that access to finance is something that burns on women and men, but I think women bear the brunt the most because the access to finance industry is so designed that there are a lot of set rules you're supposed to meet, right, to enable you at least become market ready or market worthy to be considered for financing. And it just seemed like all of this is just against the girl child or a woman. Let's start with the collateral part of it. There, in as much as some institutions will come up to say, oh, we're scrapping out the collateral part of it, you can access finance without collateral. I want you to know that it still puts you in a good light when you have collateral. They would definitely pick someone who has collateral over you. And we know in Nigeria and Africa at large that, women or a girl child do not have the backings to earn or to have property willed to them or inherit property from their fathers or from their homes. So this already makes it difficult. It just sets a woman a step back from being able to access finance. Yes, we know there's also the part of, you could actually have this property yourself. But I mean, the first place of saying, okay, well, this was inherited is taken out. And then talking about, okay, how do you go about getting it or getting one for yourself? You actually need to be in business. You need to be earning a living. You need to have a stable source of income to be able to, acquire a property. So this is part of the challenge. And let's just take example. There's a bit of a digress. Some women even have to go as far as, going with a male counterpart to enable them rent a house, right? I mean, this is you renting a live-in apartment. It also happens in farmlands, where in some communities, you cannot go as a woman to rent a land to lease a land for agriculture. It is believed that, most families will not even hear you out. So you have to either go with an elderly man or someone, a male, to enable you have access to lease, especially when you're talking about lands in hectares or acres, as the case may be. So all of this just makes it a bit more difficult for a woman to be able to either expand her market, expand her farm, or really be able to access finance. Let's move to the Queen of Spice. Adanne mentioned the part of, women being seen as high risk. And, even if you're single as of now, there's still that notion that, okay, at any moment she'll be married. So there's still that thought of, what if we give this money to her and then she goes and then someone else who is, a higher force makes the decision and decides that, this money should not go into your business, but should go into other things that is being seen as more important in the family, right? So all of this just makes it, it still makes a woman be or stay a step backwards in accessing finance. So it just makes it more difficult for the woman, and it's just something that, even though organizations are working towards helping some of these things come down, right, but they are still there and they're still affecting a lot of women. We believe that in the years to come, with the information, with a lot more women-friendly organizations and access to finance that is coming up, we believe that in the next few years, it would be a bit more easier for women. Another thing is the thing of, boldness, being bold and audacious, right? A lot of times women believe in playing small, right? We believe in playing small. We are even scared, right, about loan. I have a friend, we're part of a funding process, and there is the grant part and then there is also the loan part. And she said, would it be possible for them to, cut off the loan part and just give her the grant? So she doesn't want anything loan, she doesn't want to be associated with anything loan. But a man, even when he has no plans on, repayment, doesn't feel scared. And whether you like it or not, as a business person, once someone is seated on the other part of the table, I think you read more about the unsaid words than what is being said, like the confidence, the assurance, the person's body language is, sending, it matters a lot. So I feel a lot of women still have not found their voice. right? They've not found their voice. They're not really audacious. Even when in their hearts, they know that this thing, I can actually do it. There's just that fear factor of, oh, anything loan, I don't want to be associated with it. I don't want issues. I don't want somebody, I don't want problems, But if you actually look at the books, you realize that, okay, you have been diligent. You have been diligent. So why are you scared? Why are you scared? Why do you think we can't repay back, this loan? So, and these are the things, some of which is a mindset thing, and some of which are just things we don't have control over. That, just inhibits or really makes the woman not get access to funding as well as most as their male counterparts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Etim. I think we are seeing consistency around fear, and I think this is something that needs to probably be addressed. I know that Funmi is still on the call. I don't know if it's something that needs to be escalated to upskill women in risk, on their risk appetite. So there's something called risk appetite in banking. So it's just, just open up your mindset, just allow everything to flow in. And it's also very scary because most times when you get some of these facilities, some of this loan, that's when problems starts coming. And then you're like, oh my God. So that fear alone, the fear of uncertainty is there. So I think it's just maybe building a community around it to help ourselves manage this risk and see how, and then also flexibility of this loan in case of some of these things happen. The pressure, that banks give you is really overwhelming. So you know how to effectively manage that process. But thanks so much for highlighting. And I also like the fact that you talked on cultural and traditional perspective, where you want to access land for farming, you want to rent, but families are not willing to give you because you're a woman. I mean, it's really surprising because right now we have more women who are tilting towards agriculture. You have your farmland, I have mine, Oluwadamilola has ours. We are tilting towards this thing. So we need more women to be able to have access to land. So thanks so much for highlighting all of those points, Etim. We'll move now to Oluwadamilola. She's really very passionate about gender when it comes to agriculture. So do you think that women in agriculture face unique challenges compared to our male counterpart, and how can we navigate these obstacles in the space? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Baliqees, for this opportunity. Once again, happy International Women's Day to everyone. Okay, so I said something in my post earlier today. I said being in the agricultural sector is challenging, then being a woman in the agricultural sector is challenging pro max. So yes, there are challenges that are because of the gender that you are in, and because since my background is more of primary production, so most of my examples is going to be more of primary production. I farm in the southwest Nigeria. I started with primary production, planting tomatoes and the likes. Aggregation was a byproduct. It was a result. Doing an aggregation, becoming a middleman was a result of a problem that I saw. So I remember when I first started out, trying to get labor was a challenge because I'm a woman. Most of us in the Southwest, we get most of our farm workers from the North or other neighboring countries. I know when they see that, oh, it's a woman you're coming to work with, I've experienced that not once, not twice. And I'm like, no, I get your type for house. Like, I don't get it. You're coming to work, I'm going to pay you. So there are several challenges like that. So there are challenges, when it also comes to markets to sometimes, because you're a woman, they want to toss you aside. And that's why, like you were saying before, we need to increase the appetite. I think for you to be in the agricultural sector, please, if you're a shy person, you need to leave that shyness. because shyness will not play at all. It's not going to help you. So whether you're in processing, you're in primary production, you're in marketing, you're whatever sector you are in, maybe you're in input, whatever it is, as far as you're in the agricultural sector, because if every other person is fighting one, you have to fight twice because you're a woman. So they are the part of the workers' challenges. Then there's a part of sometimes safety, your own safety. I remember there was a time that kidnapping was really rampant and and all like that. I remember 2020, 2021, I was always walking around with pepper spray. Oh yes, you will find pepper spray in my pocket, not in my bag. I could have left my bag on the farm or something. When I'm going to, it's part of what it's like my costume. When I say get ready with me, my pepper spray is in my jean pockets, because I don't want to take chances, because then there was a whole lot of workers conniving and kidnapping their bosses or something and all like that. So it was rampant at that time. So one of the ways, and I didn't want to stop what I was doing because I knew why I was doing what I was doing. So one of the ways for me was, if you do anyhow, at least before you regain your consciousness, I would have run or anything. So yes, so there's several challenges, and because we are a woman, again, I remember when I went for one program in the north, and I realized that some of the again, if you look at it, we have different peculiarities. I'm going to say, since we're in Nigeria, in the northern part, farming is a normal thing. It's like a proper way of life for them. Yeah, in the southwest, we are all after, I want to go to school and all like that. So even saying that you want to be a farmer in the southwest, it's something as a guy. They're not talk of as a woman, because I remember I personally could not go straight to tell my dad that I want to pivot. I had to go through the corners, before I was not able to. I didn't even tell him. I just went with and found that, and we had to settle that. So when I have the opportunity to train girls, ladies, and and they'll be like, oh, if you ask them how many of you want to be a farmer, they'll tell you no, because first of all, you're like, okay, how would you be a farmer? Farming is stressful, is this, and sometimes they'll also say that you might not find husband on time. That might also be one challenge. So there's a lot of there's a lot of bad PR unwritten. So there's a lot of bad PR about being in the farming space. If you're into processing, I guess it's a bit much easier because you're not really dealing with the primary production. You have your own peculiar challenges though. Definitely you also have challenges with the farmers, because some farmers might not want to sell to you. They might feel that, oh, this woman, we won't carry our market like this, will she pay or something, So, but one thing I want us to look at is that by the time we start seeing agriculture, whatever venture we are doing in the agricultural space as a business, if you start seeing it as a business, I think as a business, okay, I'm not going to do it like the regular way. So I want to really, really chip into what Ameenah said. Yes, that's the CEO of Ofadahub, about the middlemen. Yes, the middlemen everybody says that the problem of most farmers, that the problem they're ripping off farmers. No doubt about that. For different sectors, I'm not in grains, so I might not be able to say for grains. But when it comes to vegetables, we always hear that. But sometimes I feel that sometimes farmers are the ones who have not seen their business, their farming profession as a business. Before you start production as a farmer, have you gone to look for the markets? So most farmers just hope. I remember when I came into the space and I was interning under someone, and I asked the person that where are we going to sell our produce? And he was like, it's not tomato, we'll sell it everywhere now. There's market for everything. Because they sell tomato everywhere does not mean that you will be able to sell. So sometimes some farmers are not ready to do their market research. So it's a business. If imagine you want to start up a new brand, maybe you want to do a clothing collection right now, you will do a market research. You will look at, okay, who do I want to sell to? Do I want to sell to corporate ladies? Do I want to sell to children? And all like that. But because people think that, oh, it is food and it is farming now, you just come into the sector. Oh, I see they waste tomato a lot. I go to my tour of these wasted. Let me start doing dried tomatoes. Let me start doing dried cucumbers, and you don't do your market research. So that's always the problem. So you see that it is from one problem to another. But if you sit down and do your homework well, when those problems are surfacing, you'll be able to challenge. And I also want to say something. As much as we have, because we are women and we have several challenges, I also feel that sometimes because we are women, we have some certain advantage. Now I'm certain advantage, because for me, most of the people that has helped me in this sector, that has helped me to grow and stand, are actually men. Because we actually have more men. You know, so but when a man sees this lady, you can't intimidate her. So that is why I said we need to remove that risk appetite. You need to eat it well and, you know, let it be full. You need to drink the water of risk and let it be full. Because when they see that, this lady, we try to intimidate her, you know, we try to do this to her. Like, for example, I sold my produce 2 years back. Yes, this was a 2 years ago experience. I sold my produce 2 years back in my tour. This was even my own personal produce, not for a farmer. And, you know, it was pepper. And the guy was like, yes, he has sold it, actually. He told me he has sold it. He has sent my money. And it was going around the corners. And I told him, you don't like what I would do. He said, madam, you know, if you do anything, I should get out. I said, I know if you do anything. I said, okay, no problem. You know, because he felt that maybe if he just shouts on me, it intimidates me. He knows I'm in Ibadan. There's nothing I can do. You know what I did? The next day, I took the next available bus to Lagos. And I went to my 12. And I went to the chairman's office. So, you know, sometimes let us learn to use our agenda too, sometimes to our advantage. I went to the chairman's office. There's an office in my tour. I went to the chairman's office. I said, sir, I introduced myself. I said, I'm a farmer in Ibadan. I sold to this person. And he used his mouth to tell me he has finished selling. You know, and the guy was dealt with. In fact, that was when I knew that in my tour, they have prison, like a place where they lock people up for defaulting. They locked him up. You know, because if the chairman was like, you see a woman like this, they do man work, you work on the whole money. You see, so sometimes you can use it to your advantage. So as much as I know that we have a lot of disadvantages, it's you that know the reason why you're coming into the sector. Agricultural sector is not one sector you want to come because everybody's in. It's not like, I don't mean to mean anything to anybody, but it's not like fashion. That, oh, everybody's saying Ankara nice, Ankara bubu, Ankara this, Ankara that, you know, everybody. Agricultural sector is not like that. Oh, because that means doing it, Baliqees is doing it. You know, no, that one, you need extra willingness and extra goal and vision, you know, extra drive. So if you're coming into it, you know that extra drive, that is what's going to keep pushing you. Yes, there's plenty challenges. There's the challenges of finances, there's the challenges of acquiring. I remember when I wanted to first acquire my first land, I had to go with a friend. Yes, I had to in the beginning, because sometimes they're like, can they trust you? You know, so sometimes if it requires you doing that, I think you should do it. Several times I'm not from Oyo State, but I had to relocate from Lagos to Ibadan because of farming. So I had a friend who was a guy. So he was my push person. When I wanted to buy my first land in Ibadan, he was my front, he was one I was pushing. Until later, now that everybody now knows that this lady is a farmer, so I don't have to use him again. But in the beginning, I literally had to do that. So these are some systems, these are some, what will I call it? Some mindsets that has affected us as a country, you know, and it will take a longer way before it can be corrected. So, but while you are waiting for it to be corrected, you just have to do what you have to do. So if it's that I have to push somebody to do it, then let me do it. If I have to front somebody to front it, but let me do it. But that you will intimidate me on my own stuff, I will not allow you to do that. Do you understand? Then when it comes to my security, especially, you know, because we hear a lot. I'm not farming in town. I'm farming in a bush. God forbid, but if anything happened to me, then nobody will know. That is where I am. But there's a way in relationship, you build relationship, because everything is challenging. Even the weather itself, we are experiencing climate change. So everything is it's just like everything is working against you. But you just have to be the one to keep fighting it and ensuring that you're winning. Then you can also leverage on the relationship, like where I farm, I'm the only, okay, not really the only, but I think I'm the only young female. I have some older mamas there, but I think I'm the only young female of my kind in that place. So all you just need to do is also leverage relationship, because everything is just fighting against us as women. But we cannot just give excuses. We just have to do what we have to do that is necessary. And when it also comes to marketing, it can be challenging also, but we're not going to give up. If somebody tells you no problem, you move to another person. There's no how you will meet 10 men, you know, if you are trying to market your produce to somebody and all like that. There's no how, maybe along as we talk, I'll talk about how my experience as an aggregator is. There's no how you will meet 10 men. If you talk to one, he says no, talk to two, says no, then you keep on moving it. So you will not say because it is because you know the mindset is waiting you feel do. You know, first of all, they've looked at you from head to toe. They've underestimated you. What can you bring to the table? So, but by the time, so we are in a sector where it is our work that speaks for us. Like Adanne was saying that she literally had to call. So now it is our work that she had to give them a CV. So we have gotten to that point where we have to be the one to give our CV. So that's why as we women, we need to be the one to tell our stories. If you are waiting for somebody to come and tell your story by yourself, you will wait till maybe you become a grandma. And that's when they say, oh, there was one lady, she has been farming since 30 years ago and everything. So now, because we have to fight, so if every man is fighting, like twice in a day, we have to fight like 10 times in a day, because we have to be the one to tell our stories by ourselves. So, and sometimes, if you want to look at it, people also have soft spot for women in a kind. So sometimes you play on the intelligence of that soft spot that they use to enter in, then you overtake. So that really, I thought she was really soft. I was just pitying her, but really, she's not somebody to be pitied. I'll stop here now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluwadamilola. As I established when we started, these are powerful women. They are all speaking passionately from experience. And that is why today I am hosting, because I don't want to also share my own experience. So thank you so much, Oluwadamilola. And I totally understand the concept. And I like that you did not put yourself in a box where you are limited. You took a bold step to meet up with, these big guys at Mouth, and justice was provided. I think it is also high time that women need to start putting ourselves where we deserve. We are women, we are human. And we need to be able to speak up when things happen and they are happening in the wrong way. So, you really said a lot of things, but I'm going to now move us to exploring solutions and opportunity that exist in this space, because we have highlighted so many problems. It's really interesting, the challenges we're facing. So I'm going to start the segment on solutions and opportunities with Ameenah. Alternative financing models. I know Adanne mentioned challenges around financing for agripreneurs in this space. So beyond traditional bank loans, what innovative financing options can women in agriculture explore? Ameenah.
Hi, Baliqees. Sorry, I missed you there. Please, can you take the question again?
Yeah, so the question is on alternative financing model. So beyond traditional bank loans and other government loans, what innovative financing option can women in agriculture explore?
Okay, thank you. So for me, when Adanne was talking to the other time, she talked about Etimbuk. They talk about how we are scared. Men are usually not scared. We just chicken out and say, no, I don't want loan. I don't want loan. I think there's a level you have to build your confidence to for you to be able to take loans. So for me, I will advise, my advice or my recommendation is always start with grants. See, we're in a time where a lot of people are now paying attention to the females. We are doing better than we were years ago. A lot of people are now investing into females. There are so many remarkable women who have broken barriers in different spheres of life, and they have paved the way for us. So they are, today now, as of today, I can tell you roughly about 3 grants that are in honor of International Women's Celebration, right, to empower women. And I still know about 2 others that will come up before, specifically for women. So I'm just going to say, we are at a time where we are doing awesomely well. We can do better. We are still facing the bias. We are still facing the barriers, but it's getting a bit better, right? So the source of funding, I would say we should always look at first. I will not even advise a business who is just starting out to jump into a loan, right? The business has to have certain numbers before. Like Adanne was saying, as women, we have seen women that they take money, they give it to their husbands. See, a lot of women are funding the house by themselves because they have irresponsible men. So imagine taking a loan. Please, I'm not here to talk about grant. Etimbuk. You are distracting me. Okay, I will share. So like I was saying, I know of women who use their funding to sustain women are strong, powerful people, right? So we encompass a lot of things. We are the business front, we are the home front, we are doing so many things together. So a woman who is probably the one financing the home, imagine that type of woman taking a loan for the family, right? That's not a very good idea. So I always say, look out for grants. They are free, equity-free funding. But because they are free, doesn't still mean that you embezzle the funds. Because the more your business grows, the more financial freedom you have. So don't go on a mission to gather grants because you want to, live the life. You want to use it to sponsor the. That's not what it's for. You need to start investing back in yourself and your business. So look for grants. There are also investors. There are investors. I feel like investment is a really great option to taking loans because most banks in Nigeria, there's a certain point that you would have banked with them before they give you a loan. One. Secondly, the interest on these loans, if you do not know what you are doing and if you do not have your numbers secured, you might be taking the wrong step and you might sink in that loan, right? However, as I always say, a good loan is a long-term loan for a business. If you are doing a business, yeah, I always recommend, just take a long-term loan. But we don't have so many of that in Nigeria. We have loans that they want you to pay back in 6 months and max 12 months, which might not be very sustainable for a growing business. The ones that give long-term loans are maybe the likes of Bank of Industry, government parastatal like that. But and they also have so many requirements, which is possible, by the way, over a period of time when you have track record of that business. So there are also investors who you have the higher bargaining power over, right? Investor cannot tell you, I want to take 50% interest. Investor cannot say, I want 100%. Do you understand? You can bargain, or we are offering you so much interest rate or this percentage of equity in exchange for this amount of funding. I feel like it's a more better bargaining power for you when you also consider investment. So those are the type of financing I think we should be looking out for as women. Funding grants that are specifically women focused. It gives us more leverage, more power to do more. You can always take a loan. A loan is not a bad idea like it's painted to be in this part of the world. But before you take that loan, be sure that your business has the capacity to run in the interest rate of the loan that they are granting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ameenah. I think I liked your last point on knowing. I think the most important thing is, even as a person, do you see, can you loan your own business money as a person? You need to look at it like, can I loan my business money? You need to be able to answer that question before you start exploring banks and other loan facilities. And I think maybe just to add to some of your recommendation on grant and investment, cooperative models also works very well. If you want to go into the agriculture in any business, really, you can look at cooperative. It's one of the most innovative financing, especially when you understand what cooperative does. If you have elderly people who have experience, you can explore. You can let them teach you how to explore that. And these are really really innovative business. And if you're just starting, if you're just looking to start, please and please put in your money first. It is how you manage your money that would help you manage other people's money. So thank you so much, Ameenah, for that insight and experience shared. So I'll go to Etim. Nowadays we're using technology widely in the agricultural sector and even across the value chain of agribusiness. So my question now is, how can digital financial services, mobile banking, and fintech solution bridge the financing gap for women in agribusiness? Etim.
Yeah, thank you, Baliqees. So I think this is a very good revolution, right? The fintech industry and the massive work they are doing. Because apart from the whole lot we've said about different challenges why women don't access finances so easily, one very key thing is the fact that a lot of people, I wouldn't just say women in this case, I would just say a lot of people generally when starting out businesses are very poor with, keeping records, with managing numbers, financial management and all of that. And it is totally okay, right? Because, we're not accountants, right? So this is a very big challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs, and it just puts you in that bad light because in as much as you're saying, oh, I've made X, Y, Z, you can't answer where the money is going, what is bringing in the money, what percentage is profits, what percentage, all of these things. The massive breakthrough that now prevails in the fintech industry is that there are a lot of solutions that allows you to, just put in your inventory, it's able to track your sales, it's able to track your expenses, and without really doing much, without having an accountant, you can generate your records, you can have your financial position drawn out for you, you can just have different things to play with. This just means a whole lot, right? Because it gives you answers to those questions a lot of funding partners would want to hear. Beyond looking at loan, even with grants, right? A lot of funders in grants would still want to know some of these very important information about your business. You hear a lot of times people say, oh, I'm making 100% profit, I'm making 200% profit. And you ask them, how did you come to that position? And you're like, oh, I bought this thing 100 naira and I sold it for 200 naira and I sold it for 300 naira, I sold it for 500 naira. So this automatically means that I've been able to make 100% returns without taking into account other expenses that we incurred. And a lot of times as women, we often start our businesses from our kitchen. I mean, a lot of us, if not all of us, started our businesses in our living apartments. And this just creates that, false assumption that you're not making expenses, you're not paying rent, right? You're not taking care of electricity bills, you're not taking care of other, bills. So you just take it that, oh, I bought it 100 naira, I sold it 200, so I'm making this profit. But these solutions are really making it easy for women and business owners at large to be able to simplify these things and get results. So I feel that every woman out there in business, even if you're able to get an accountant, I feel the fintech solutions have just made it very easy for you to, at a glance, really understand what your income statement looks like, what your balance sheet looks like, what's this and that, what is your net margin, what is your gross margin. It just simplifies this whole for you. And some of them are even taking it a step further, such that if you're very consistent with your record keeping and your financial analysis, they even go a step further to offering, loans to you. So I think tech, especially fintech, is doing a whole lot and is simplifying the way record is being captured in businesses, financial models are being drawn, and I strongly recommend everyone out there to key into it and just make simplified decisions on financial management and bookkeeping generally. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Etim. I think you've really highlighted, key strategies and how we can leverage financial technology services to enhance our agribusiness. And I also, think that this is the time for us to leverage our Google. So just go online, search for, financial tools that you can use as an agribusiness or as a business person, generally speaking, to help you with the record keeping, bookkeeping, and whatnot. So I'm going to now move to, so thank you so much again, Etim. I'm going to move to Oluwadamilola. So let's look at scaling agribusiness for market access. Yes, the recorded version will be available on Green Republic Farm YouTube channel. I'll be sharing the link to our YouTube channel, so would make the recording of this session available there, Mr. Bashir. Okay, so let's look at scaling agribusiness for market access to Oluwadamilola. What strategies should women-led agricultural enterprises adopt to access larger markets, including export and premium value chains?
Okay, thank you. First of all, whatever market you want to scale into, or whatever market you want to sell, you need to know what the market requires. You need to know what the market wants. So be it you're a processor or you're a primary producer, you're a farmer, or you're processing. So what does the market want? So that is where your market research comes in. For example, as a farmer, tomato farmer, there are different varieties of tomatoes that you plant. So we have the regular Yoruba tomato that is full of water. Most people don't really like it. The market prefers big, plum, red tomatoes, the hard ones. This generally called tomato juice because they feel that it's only in juice you can grow it. But so if you're a farmer in Southwest, there are varieties of tomatoes that can give you that. So that gives you an advantage and an edge. So when you know that I plant, for example, there's a variety called Cobra or Platinum or Padma or whatever, there are plenty of varieties like that. They have longer shelf life. So if a middleman is pricing me anyhow, I know I can move to another person because I know what I am planting. I'm planting what the market wants. So you need to know what the market wants. So if you're a processor too, you need to know what the market wants. So that is very, very important. So you don't just do just the same way also if you want to do exports. So probably you are doing spices, you are doing maybe dried produce and all like that. First of all, how is your ugu planted? Your ewedu, probably you're exporting ewedu or you intend to export ewedu. You need to know what the regulation wants. You need to know the market over there. What is the regulation about this? What is their regulation about this particular product? Because in Nigeria, there are certain agrochemicals that we use in our production to help our production. And in some certain countries, some of those agrochemicals have been banned. So if you don't know, for example, like in Dubai, if you want to, because they are in demand of pepper, habanero pepper, you say, oh, I can plant habanero pepper. And if you don't know, but they don't like they use minimal fungicides. But if you don't know, you go use your regular fungicide. By the time you get there, it's confiscated and you have lost money. So you need to in scaling up, you need to do your research very well. First of all, I will first advise probably you win at home. That's me. I don't know. You might not take it, you don't have to take it, but I feel that you should win at home. When you have won at home, then you can now say you want to put your leg outside. So when you win at home, so even if it is processing you are doing, even if it is, at least let people at home know your product. So at home can be your immediate environment, at home can be the open market, at home you get. So, and I feel that it is when your product is not doing so very well, so be it even if it is fresh produce, be it if it is so even if you are, for example, you're a farmer and you deal in just maybe premium, because you have vegetables and you have vegetables, maybe you deal with just premium vegetables, like the like of celery, parsley, coriander, it's not something that is everywhere and easily available and all like that, that markets like ShopRite, the supermarkets and codes that they'll be rushing after you. So if you can win at home, then you can ask, okay, well, maybe since I have this, I now want to start beginning to export. So first of all, I always say, as you say something when it comes to production, you begin with the end in mind. You start from the market into the field. So if you, for example, you as a primary producer, you have to know what the market wants. And it depends on the market that you are in. For example, in Southwest Nigeria, we eat green cucumbers, the one that is very green. That it sells well. But in the East, if you are in the East, in the East, they don't eat green cucumbers. They have it, but they don't really like it. They prefer the white ones. So if because I have been farming in Southwest Nigeria and something happens and I move to Enugu or Anambra today, and I say, okay, let me go and be farming the dark green cucumber I've been farming here. I go and farm it there. Sorry, it's my case. I might sell it, but I will not sell it at the market price that is there. So you need to, that's why studying the market. So that's why I like to always tell a lot of farmers, although they don't have that patience to do it. Studying the market. There's no new state in Nigeria that I go to. The first place I enter is the markets. Seriously, it's the vegetable market. Studying the market matters a lot. Then, some people say, oh, I want to start earning in dollars. I want to start it. Okay, fine. It's not a problem. So as a primary producer, you can earn in dollars. Yes, there are farmers who send their produce outside the country, but there are regulations. Then there are also certifications. There's the HACCP. There's plenty certifications. So you need to know which I have to do so that I can be able to export my product, you know, and some of these certifications, it takes months. Some of them, it costs a lot of money. So you need to do your homework. So, you know, so you could still be doing what you're doing while you're planning for your scalability. So maybe like the year is a bit young. It's not really still young. We're already in the third of the month, but it's okay. It's okay. One of the goals is that we'll have to have our food safety certification one thing by December, because those certifications they're in stages. You have to do one to do another, one to do another, to do another, and everything before you can qualify. Then, you know, if you get to some point, if you're a processor, they might even want to come to your facility and see. You know, so it's a lot. It's a lot of stages. So when it comes to your scalability, if you have one at home, you already know what your open market wants. You know what your premium market in the country wants. You know, and see, I want to also say this, that when you want to scale, don't be afraid. See, you know, there's one thing I always ask myself: what's the worst that can happen? If I jump up, what's the worst? I'll fall down. If I fall down, if I did not fall down when I was trying to walk as a child, would they tell my mom? Would they tell me sorry? I'll stand up now. If I did not cry, as if I did not cry when I left the hospital, they will not allow my mother and I to leave the hospital now. So what's the worst case scenario? You know, so sometimes we might be timid. You know, so that's why sometimes you doing your research and your study, it matters a lot. So you can still do what you're doing while you have a scalability plan. That's the word. Or you have a scalability plan. Like you see some people say, oh, I had that tomato, you know, it's always very expensive during the layer period. I want to plant 10 acres. Hello, have you done one plot? So you start gently, then you scale gradually, so that even if you are going to fall, you will not fall so hard that you can't stand up again. So you have a plan, you have a strategy. So for example, you're farming somewhere, you're just doing one plot. Okay, what is the yield that you are seeing in that? How many families are you being able to supply? Then you look at it, okay, I moved from one plot, I moved to an acre. You know, you do it like that. So it's a plan. So scalability does not just happen overnight. It's something that you plan towards. So even as a processor, I know someone who does tomato powder and everything. Yes, like Etim said, she does it in her kitchen for now. Although she's still working on her lab, I don't know how far she's gone. I met her last year, you know, so she still does it in her house and everything, you know. So it is a process. If you have the money to start very big and loud, oh, that's all good, well and good. At least that your money will be able to buy professionals who will help you skip. They will not really skip the process, but you're leveraging on their experience for the process. So you know that, okay, I have the money to do my because some of these certifications are in dollars, you know, and all like that. So you know that, okay, I want to begin to export my spices abroad. Okay, first of all, when you want to begin to export your spice, before maybe you were just buying normal dried chili, for example. You were just buying normal dried chili in the market, and you will come to your place and you will blend it and you put it in your bottles and you seal it up and everything. But now, if you're going to international markets, they will want to know what variety of chili was planted, that was dried and now blended. They will want to know your processes. In fact, some of them will want to know your GAP. That is your good agricultural practices. Some of them, they even want to know your IPM, your pest management methods. So they want to know all these things. So if you don't have answers to them, how do you now want to? So, but you were already doing it here in Nigeria. You were just buying dried ones, you were blending it. Probably you now had maybe some suya, you do these things and all like that. But you're going to international markets, you know, because we are blessed in our country. You know, sometimes we don't really take some things very too hard, but outside they take it very personal. They are so detailed. So in fact, I know someone who exports ugu and ewedu. If the ugu has small hole, they won't collect it. Like, you know, small shoko, if it has small hole, maybe, you know, because they'll be like, maybe it was an insect that pest on it that created the hole there. If it has small hole, it's not good to go. So all this study, so you know, because being a business, you really have to create time for that. If you know that as a person, you might not have that time, then maybe you might have to exploit somebody, and that's the person's KPI to do all those findings. And now, so when you do all your findings, so you know that, okay, I want to take these products to UK, I want to take it to the Netherlands or Dubai. They need XYZ. Okay, they need this certification. I need this because there are many certifications. Okay, what is the step in getting the certifications? So you'll be able to get it. And actually, most of this information are actually online. You can ask Meta AI, you can ask ChatGPT, tell you. So what is the process in getting all the certifications? What is this? Then also back in Nigeria, that also maybe you might have to join what's the name of these people? Trade something. You might have to then export council, you know, so you might have to join them. Then there's also some maybe maybe certificates that you might have to get, you know, so that you National Export Council something you might have to get. So there is a whole process to it. So it looks like, if you see everything I said now, everything looks so cumbersome, but it's one step at a time. Definitely, if you're into processing, you have to definitely have your NAFDAC. You're getting your NAFDAC, there's certain other. So it's just one step at a time. So when it comes to scalability, you look at when you've gathered all the information together, you now begin to take it. Okay, so which one do I have to do first in order to achieve this while you are still producing and making money? So that's why I said win home. You know, because if you start your business how that, oh, you want to start exporting immediately, I don't think that is I don't think it makes any sense. But unless if you are leveraging on somebody, I know that some people do that. Where that means you're actually in demand, where you leverage on some people's you know, there's some already established manufacturing companies that already have certifications. Probably they just brand for you. You know, that's already a different game. They brand for you, probably they brand in your name. Then maybe you will have to pay 1 or 2 for certifications and all like that. You know, so you're using their own HSPP certificates and all their certifications and all like that. You see. So now you are leveraging on their own, which you definitely pay heavily for. So you see that it differs. So, but if it's something you are starting to try by yourself, and when it comes to markets, let me tell you one of the ways that I get markets. You know, because funny enough, I became an aggregator. It was an hobby. Yeah. I had issues with markets in 2020. Oh, serious issues. So I farm in a cluster of tomato farmers. So we had one person that we all give our produce to, and we'll take to Lagos. He has a driver that will take to Lagos, and we'll take to Lagos, and they'll sell. And we will not be able to ask the question that, sorry, how much did you sell? It will just give us money. Then I was working with somebody, so it was not my. So I asked my friend, so I'll call him. I said, wait, how much did they sell tomato? It was like, damn it, this is the money now. I said, I don't understand. So there was a particular day, he gave us an amount that did not make any sense. Like by the time we broke it down by the number of crates that we sent to him, it was like 3,000 naira per crate. And I said, is Lagos price that bad that they will sell a crate of tomato for 3K? So I called a friend of mine who stays close to myself. I said, babe, please, she does drop food stuff, grocery shopping. I said, please, did you go to market on Saturday? Did you supply order? She said, yes. I said, how much did you buy a crate of tomato? And she said, oh, I bought it for 7,000 naira. So I did the math. I was like, okay, give or take, this man is supposed to give us back, give or take, maybe 5,000 naira or 5,500. So we're being ripped off. So that's always the problem. When farmers always complain that they are being ripped off. So I was pained because we're losing money. And, I was really pained. And I went back home. And, sometimes it can be very funny. It was in the place of prayer, though. I just woke up one day. I carried my bag. I went to my 12. The way we Christians do evangelism. I went from one store to another inside the tomato place in my 12. Not, my 12 is big. When they sell tomato, I started introducing myself to them. I, first of all, look around. I don't, if I see that this one is a boy, like he's a staff, Omoyele, I'll say, please, where your Oga? I want to see your Oga. Because I've learned in business, always look for the head. So where your Oga? So I said, oh, I'm a farmer in Ibadan. I plant tomatoes. I want to be selling to you. Is it possible? Oh, yes, madam. I collect. Then I've already finished harvesting. So I started collecting numbers like that. And funny enough, I didn't use those numbers. I did it for Lagos, my 12. Then I did it for Shasha in Ibadan. Then we're in Shasha before we moved to Akinyele. So I do it like that. There is no vegetable market. Is it Ukegbu that I don't have contact with? So you have to go out. So if you are looking for market will not come and meet you where you are. So just the same thing for your processing too, or whatever field or whatever aspect of agriculture you are in. You want to go to supermarkets and everything. Carry your product. Oh, I have this product. Oh, very nice. It's dried mushrooms, and everything. Or you look at it, who are the people that uses my product? Oh, okay, people that make pizza use dried mushrooms. People that, some restaurants, some top class dinner places uses it. You request, please, I want to see the procurement manager. I want to, see, the worst that they will say is, madam, sorry, we have our own vendor. Okay, no problem. Can I drop this? Can I drop it so that you can try it, then you can give me a feedback? There's something called tenacity. You push. Because as women, if we sit down, door will not open. Trust me, it will not open. Even if when you stand up and you try to open the door, they say, sorry, you cannot enter. You have to push. You push the door. Because if you are waiting and folding your hands, nothing is going to happen. And that's just the honest truth. Unless maybe you have some certain privileges. Not all of us came from different backgrounds. So if you have certain privileges already, maybe as a result of your family, oh, that's beautiful for you. I'm happy for you. But you just have to go. So in going to markets and all like that, sometimes I carry myself. How did I penetrate into foreign garden markets in jobs? When I started aggregating, I did not know anybody in jobs. I carried my car. I didn't have money for flight. I took night bus. I went to Jos. That was in 2023. Yes. I took night bus. I went to Jos. It sounds crazy, but I know it's crazy. I know that some people cannot be like me, no, but it's fine. But if you know that you are passionate, you not about passion. It's about you know that you have something that you want to achieve. You want to get something done. You will get it. Now I procure trucks of tomatoes. It's just phone call and monitoring. You know, there's already a oh please, I beg, this village is harvesting today. Okay, I need 700 crates. Let me bring it. Do you get? But I had to first go. You know, I had to first go. So I go to market from one market. If one market does not pay me, I sell pineapples in trucks for people. When I needed to sell when a farmer had, funny enough, I don't plant pineapples, but a farmer had a challenge with pineapple, selling his pineapple. I said, okay, no problem, give me time. I left Ibadan. I went to K2. I went to the pineapple section there. And I related, it's Yorubas that are mostly there. Since I'm a Yoruba person, and I related and everything. And from selling from them, I realized watermelon. And before we knew it, I started selling my pineapple in Yanoba. My two sides, those ones said, they will even give me higher money. They said, madam, bring it, we'll give you higher money. So, you see, you just have to, you can't sit in one place. So when it comes to market, especially, and I don't know, but I feel that when it comes to marketing of your product, I don't know. I maybe because I'm going to say my own experience, I think I do more. Or maybe that's my strength. I don't know. But marketing was never my strength. I didn't like marketing. Other times they will say, that's why I never joined all these GNLD that bring one person to bring another person, because I didn't like marketing. I had to do it because it was condition that make refuse to bend. So I feel that when it comes to markets, I think you are the best person, unless maybe you have somebody who's also passionate about your product. But me, I feel that you are the best person because you are the one that knows the process in which this product has gone. So maybe, for example, you're a processor. You know that you don't buy any kind of chili from anybody. You go and buy, there's one chili that they call Demon F1, you know, because it's very, very hot. You go and make sure that you look for farmers who are farming that kind of chili. Do you know the process you are going through? So if you're trying to tell somebody that, why should I buy your chili? Say, see, this is my chili that I'm selling to you. You know, so you talk to them about the process. A staff might not necessarily be able to do that, but unless if you have a passionate staff, so there's always exceptions. Okay, so when it comes to market, I think you are the one. So you will not see, you will have to go out. There was one time I attended a program on the island, and I happened to be at Ebano. Okay, I think the program was around Ebano VI. And I told my friend, I said, I'm coming. She was like, Dami, where are you going? I said, I want to enter that supermarket. Calm down. I entered. I saw their farmer's market. I said, oh, they have tomatoes. Okay. And I requested to see the manager. And lo and behold, he saw me. So I was like, okay, what does it entail to supply you guys? You know, like, oh, that's my farm is in bad. I said, oh, the guy was like, are you sure with this stuff? I said, let me know your quantity. If you do good quantity, I should be able to bring to you people. And we had a conversation. Did I supply them? No, actually, the distance is not paying me because in terms of what they order and all like that, you know, but I do food court here in Ibadan, you know, so at least it's not far from me. So even if they do 2 crates, I'm fine. It's not a problem. But doing 2 crates all the way to Lagos might not make sense. You know, most of these supermarkets won't want to buy much because they don't want it to get spoiled. So you are yourself. Do you understand? So you go out. So even in the international markets too, you can go online. You can go on LinkedIn and find out the people that are looking, maybe that are your prospective buyers for that stuff online that are abroad. You know, there's a way you can search. Now, see, everything is not made easy. There's a way you can search that it will bring those companies, try and get their emails and send them, this is our product, we do this, we do that, we do this and all like that. For some of them, you can even take their phone calls. It's going to cost you time and it's going to cost you money, but you have to put in the work and you get the result. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Oluwadamilola. You know, I imagine if this is a master class, do you know how much we are going to be selling this class? Or we should start selling. Maybe we should even sell the recording. Because these are really insightful tips and experiences that each and every one of you are sharing. And it's really inspiring. And that takes me to Adanne. Adanne, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Listening to it, just be laughing and smiling at the same time.
I know. So Oluwadamilola made emphasis a lot around partnership and collaboration, how it has worked for her and how it can work for women to access market. But I want you to tilt this response towards how can partnerships with financial institutions, agribusiness network, and cooperatives enhance women access to finance and market? Maybe more emphasis on finance.
Okay, thank you very much. She is actually a powerhouse. I was just smiling all through, and what makes you strong and what makes your story, your journey, beautiful is in the story. I tell people, I get friends that say, oh, Adanne, I want to become an entrepreneur, and I smile. I say, you better stay where you are, 9 to 5. You better stay where you are. It's not for the faint-hearted. And I keep saying that in business, you don't even want to do life alone. You don't want to do business alone. Let's put it that way. It's daunting. There are times you just want to cry. There are times you want to worry. But having people, having relationship, that you've built around you that that have gone through something that you are going through or understand where you come from makes life better. So coming to relationship in terms of partnership with financial institutions, it's very, very important. So you know that in recent time there's been a lot of almost all the banks, they are doing one program or the other. I tend to say they're always recycling curriculum. So you see that most times the curriculums are almost the same, right? But if I don't want to do this, you are building a relationship. Yeah, you might think, oh, they are too much, but it's going to, there's not that you will need them. You actually need them. There's one thing I'm coming to financial institution. There's one thing this financial institution might have that you need at this time. There's another one. So it's just for you to just keep them. You're not going to discard any of them because you need them. Trust me. Then coming to partnership with other financiers that are not financial institutions, right? It's also important. They've also have their I think what they've all told themselves is that before I give you any money, you have to go through my programs, you have to do this. Keep them. It works, right? So sometimes I join most of these programs, not actually because of the money, sometimes because you get some things that are more than money, right? You might have access to, you might get information that you never will not get anywhere. I don't think I've ever searched for anything since I started my business. What do I mean by that is each time I look for something, I will have a community, one of these communities that I'm going to ask those questions and I'll get them, right? So there are opportunities that are out there that you're going to also leverage because you have a partnership or you join one community or one association or the other, right? It is very, very important. You do not discard any opportunity. I've met, I think, some of the women, on this call through one of the funding opportunities or the other, right? Because at the end of the day, it's money that we want, right? So, and you keep them, right? Because you're going to need them. The other angle I'm going to talk about in terms of collaboration is, I said that there are times that you're going to need somebody or you're going to need something, and somebody that knows somebody will be able to, get it across to you. So I remember there's this time Lagos State, they kept to come and lock my shop. I was crying bitterly. I put it in, a few of my communities, like, please, so if you know anybody in Lagos State, please come and tell them they've locked my shop. And lucky enough, one of the persons in the community knows the chairman of the local government and got across to me and it was resolved. That's part of the partnerships you build that are not financial, because I'm talking about the financial aspect and non-financial aspect, right? But I'll tilt towards more of the non-financial because it has a great it has great benefits, if I'll put it like that. It has great benefits. You have to leverage it. Then also, another thing I want to talk in terms of partnership is, or collaboration is, your collaboration doesn't necessarily need to be when you want something. It should be even when you don't need something, when you don't want something, just build that relationship, honestly. Because sometimes you perceive when somebody is actually coming to you, to get, how will I put it? To take advantage. You always perceive it, all of us, as a human being, a spiritual being, when your mind tells you something. So sometimes you just don't want to be someone that just takes, be someone that gives also. It makes the world go around, honestly. And so another thing that I would say in terms of collaboration, you have to look at anyone that is going to be beneficial to what you need. For example, I do this sometimes. It might be good, it might not be good, so I'm smiling. So when I go to a place, I try to scan. Scan. Everybody can be your friend, know that one. You scan, and there's somebody that their spirit actually works with yours. So I take advantage of it. Then that's business to business. Then I hear Damilola talk about the women in the market and all that. So there's something, I think Etimbuk, when she was talking about it, I don't know if it's a team or Ameenah was talking about terms of finances, how you go to funding. So aside from the getting loans and grants, another thing that I've leveraged on is credit, right? So those alhajis, because I deal with spices farmers and all that, so those alhajis and those women in the farm, right, I've built that relationship across board. Since this is 9 years I've been in business, I don't think I've changed any of my suppliers. I don't know. Since the ones that I built that time, we've built this trust between ourselves that, okay, I said, Alhaji, please supply me, for example, ginger, because we use ginger, supply me ginger, 2 bags, and I'm going to pay you in 2 months' time. And they know that in 2 months, Adanne is going to pay, right? Those are the kind of relations. So now, because of I don't have enough money, right? Pending, somebody talked about supplying supermarkets, and those people are very, very wonderful. They will just want to owe you and you go crazy. So those kind of supplier credits also helped. And that's kind of a good relationship to actually also build, right? Because it's going to also save you money, right? It's going to save you money. So instead of going to look for money from bank or whatever, those suppliers credit can actually help. Then I talked about building friendship in the ecosystem, in the food processing ecosystem. There's this time I needed to supply one of my customers, and the money, it was huge. I didn't know what to do. My spirit just told me, then they just asked one of my ladies in the food processing, and she said, oh, then no problem. Before he said, so just send account. Within like 5 hours, she has already sent the money. Those are kind of relationship that you need to build that won't even cost you so much. I don't know. I try as much as possible to be practical in terms of building partnership between your financial institutions. Like aside from, I think I have two major financial institutions that I bank with, that I have their contacts. Like I have the contact of the branch manager, I have contact of their SME head at the head office. So sometimes when I need something, I just, even things that I don't think, even one of the banks, I don't think since I've started banking with them, this is over 8 years, I don't think I've entered their bank more than 10 times. Serious. Like, I'll call, I need these things to be done, and they do it, right? So those kind of, not only when I need something. So sometimes I just call, oh, how are you? How is your family? How is everything? We just gist normally. It's not financial anything. We are not talking about any bank. We just gist, and that's Those are the kind of the way you also build relationship, not because you want something or not because you need something, you start calling them. So that when you actually, I say it's being at the top of mind, especially those financiers, you need to be at the top of their mind, sometimes, so that when things come like this, they'll be able to call you. I don't know, is there anything I'm missing? Yeah, that's the way it has worked for me, right? You might have a different approach, but you don't want to do business alone. I told myself last 2 years that entering 2024, 2020, yeah, 2023, 2025, I said that I didn't want to, and I didn't want to go the journey of, building Addis alone. So be it anybody that will help me. If you're going to help me, I will just take it, right? And if I know if I can help you anyway, I will, give it. So that's the way to build a two-way relationship and help you grow there.
Thank you so much, Adanne. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys are like powerhouse. I mean, like, even personally from you, I'm learning a lot. And we actually have a question on the chat for Funmi, and we have another generic question. I don't know who's gonna answer it, but I don't know. Is Funmi still on the call? Funmi, are you still here with us? I know it's been a long day.
Hi, Baliqees. Yes, I'm still here.
So yeah, very quickly, because we need to round up the panel session now and move to our last segment, which is having Ozioma sharing our impact story. So that is going to be the wrap for this International Women's Day virtual event. So for me, Pierre is asking, what move are you making in your capacity to involve more women in agriculture?
Okay, thank you very much. So far, I've also learned a lot. Thank you to all the panelists. At least I've been listening, actually. And I can, tenacity, zeal, hard work. Well done, everyone. Okay, so very quickly, I currently sit as a coordinator for Lagos Agrinnovation Club. So when you say in my capacity, I think we'll start with what the governor is doing. That's Mr. Babajide Olusola, giving first the Honorable Commissioner a chance as a woman to lead agriculture in Lagos State. And that's great leadership trickling down, which also shows that Lagos State is very intentional about empowering women. And also the Honorable Commissioner empowering as many women within the ministry, of which I'm a testimony of that as well. And now for Lagos Agrinnovation Club, we have several components that we execute, which is training and mentorship. So in everything that we do, we are very deliberate in giving equal chances and a level playing field to women. So we don't put women down, we're very, very deliberate. So we also have business tours where we showcase these businesses to the world, right? And then most of this business really is usually a 50-50 or even a 70-30 in some cases, with the women being 70%, and then mentorship programs where we help these young entrepreneurs access to agribusiness leaders. And so last year, we also launched Lagos Agrithon 1.0 for some of the, I know we've spoken a lot today about access to finance. So Lagos Agrithon really is a hackathon competition styled event for agribusiness owners, where we, as a government, did give out grant funding of 100 million naira to 26 beneficiaries. And really very interesting to note that about 65% of the winners were women. So we're very deliberate in encouraging women to be in the agriculture and food system sector, and also in whichever capacity that we can, also encourage them. And this year, we're hoping to actually do more as regards the Lagos Agrithon grants. And very soon we would actually also put out the adverts. So for those that are interested in submitting their business pitches, please feel free. We maybe in another 1 or 2 months, we will put out the flyers. So thank you all very much. Again, happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much, Funmi. I appreciate your time. Oluwadamilola, Adanne, Ameenah, Etim, you guys have been super, super amazing and wonderful. So if you can just
hello, Baliqees. So I want to somebody else. I don't know if it's been answered. There's a question by Elizabeth. You know,
oh yes, there's another question.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah. So
right,
she's saying, yeah, she said that
she has been applying
she
for
started,
grant.
yeah, she started her business with 250,000 there. And I'm saying you're a rich woman. Honestly, yeah, that's huge. I started my business with 30,000 naira. Loan, your loan from my brother. I had to beg, you know, and now we're doing millions in turnover. So kudos, well done. It's not easy. That's a huge money, right? Honestly. And you said you've applied for a lot of grants. If I tell you how many I've applied, I know Etim and Ameenah, Adamme can attest, you know, to the fact. You know, I always say that people do not see the failures; they see the success. Honestly, they see the success. So keep on doing it. And I know when I was talking about finance funding, I made mention that I took a loan. You know, I was saying that I took a loan. Before I took that loan, right? It was like, okay, Adanne, are you sure? And I had been applying for grants, so I hadn't gotten any. But you know how God works, because I'm a very strong faith person, right? Immediately I signed the contract I signed the agreement that I was going to take that loan. I got 2 other grants that was huge, USADF grants and GAIN grants. Both of them the same month. So I was telling God, if you know you are going to give me this huge money, why did you still allow me to go and take this loan? Right? Why did you allow take me this loan? So, and after that, I keep applying. You just keep applying. So I feel like I say to myself, Adanne, by the time you apply 10, 1 will come in. You know, so just keep applying. Then another thing that I do is every application that I do, I have a Word document. So I write that application, right? I write the name so that when I'm doing another one, I'll go back and see what I did. I did not do well in this to be able to do better. So let me give another case in point. I don't know if you know Wire Awards. Wire Awards is a very big award, grant award in Africa. I applied for it 2 times. The first one I didn't even get in. The second time, I don't know what happened. I didn't even hear anything. The third one was last year. I got in. I applied. It was the last day it was ending, right? I finished the application. I got in. Got to the, I think how many people they said applied. I got in. I got to the first 100. I got to the first 50, right? But I did not get to the last 15, right? But I learned something. And you know, this was the first grant that I will apply for, and I did not get in. And they will send a mail telling me why I did not make it to the last. So I now even let me tell you, one of the things that they put there, and I was not thinking is, when I started Addis, I started as Addis Food Math, right? So, and I registered it in 2017. In 2021, I upgraded from a business name to a limited liability. So when I'm applying for grants, right, somehow I will put Addis Agro Processing Limited. But when I want to now put, when they say CAC, you know, they will ask you, when did you start the business, right? When do you register the business, or when do you start? I will now put 2017, when I registered that first business, so that they will not see that I'm a new business. So that was what made me, I did not, one of the things that made me, I did not get it. So they felt like, oh, there was something shady about this thing. It's something to learn about, right? Every time, everyone I do not get in, I have to go back, look at it. What did I not do right? And I'll get better. It's okay. Honestly, it's okay. It's just, just keep, maybe don't give up. Oh, maybe it's just this last one that you're going to apply tomorrow or Monday that you're going to get in. You never can tell. And I'll say, even the word Funmi was talking about, I applied for this agri-hackathon twice. I think this is the second time, I'll be first time, right? I applied for it, I got in now. Baliqees. And we got to the top 20, right? I did the first pitch. The second one, you know, they put out our names and I did not get in. They said, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't still make me, you know, not who I am. It won't still make me apply again. If it comes, I'll apply again. Right? Till you tell me yes. That's kind of dogged person I do. You have to tell me yes, right? Or if I want it, unless I do not want it and I will not apply. But if you really want it, you know, come on, apply again. You will get it. But yeah, just in the right thing. Make sure that your books are okay. Make sure that you can tell your story right. Tell your story. Like they like stories. Tell your story right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Well done. Well done. Well done. Elizabeth.
Hi, Baliqees. Are you there? I think Adanne
she's yeah, I think she's logged out. The internet logged her out. Yeah.
Oh, should I
Hi, Ameenah. Good to see
if
your
there are any
face. Well done.
Hi, Mama, how are you doing? Happy
I'm
International
fine.
Women's Day.
Yes, so well done. Well
So
done to the
while
amazing things you're doing.
Baliqees,
Well done.
thank you. Well done to everybody. Well done, Eden's Farm. I think I'm correct. Well done, Etifam. While she's away, if we have other questions, I think we might just drop the questions and let us keep answering the questions till she gets back.
I think we have one more speaker. Maybe she can go ahead and talk about as Ozioma, the impact. So maybe she can take that so that we save on time.
Okay, that's fine.
So Madam Ozioma, you have the floor.
Yeah, that's at the Commonwealth program. Happy International Women's Day. Everybody, you are all doing amazing. It's been the fire panel session. I had a few notes to also write, and some of those things also echoed what I already do. So my name is Ozioma Ukegbu-Onwordi of Eden Acres Organic Farm and Eden Whole Food. So I am both, I used to be a primary producer, then I transitioned into just aggregating because almost to primarily produces is war. And then I currently process as well. So I aggregate fresh produce across Lagos and sometimes over the States, but then we process food. And for me personally, I just feel that you can reach a wider space. And so that's what we do at Eden Whole Food. So we call ourselves an African superfood company. And we discover like our Asian food that is fast disappearing. So my work.
Hi, Ozioma, you muted yourself.
Ozioma, you're muted. Oh, if you can hear, you're muted.
I don't know how long. I've been speaking for a while. Is it open? It's open now, but I don't know where did you lose me.
I think when you said you moved into primary you were primary producer.
Okay. Yeah, so I started from producing as a primary producer and then started aggregating. It was easier for me to handle family work and then my growing business. But at the moment, we process African food and we like to call ourselves an African superfood company at Eden Whole Foods. So what the work we do at Eden Whole Foods basically is to promote our rich food heritage. I personally believe that Africa is very rich in its food and like very nutritious meals that is also fast disappearing, because we are living in a fast-paced world where people do not have time for those kind of discovery or research, and like quick meals come to bear. So that's why they'll call Generation Alpha, which most of us are mothers to, the Indomie generation, because it's a quick meal. So everything is very, very fast. Women are doing a lot more. You want to be career mom, you're probably a business person, you're facing a lot of challenges, you're a mother, you're a wife. It's a lot to handle. And then that's where we come in. So we're making food affordable and accessible, and like processed to its various forms, so that cooking is a very short period of time. So when Funmi was reading or talking about the leading African women in food, I was looking out for my name. And when I didn't see my name, it was a teachable moment for me to say, Ozioma, get back to the drawing board. You need to even do more work, right? And be recognized across the world as you want to be recognized. And we are so many doing really amazing things, right? And from everybody speaking, something I personally took away is this: see, we need money, we need finance. So whether we have relationships where we have trust, we're going to market, at the end of the day, it boils down to finance to be able to do big things. And then we'll talk about the stereotypes as well that happen, where a woman will say, oh, I want $150,000. And everybody like, what do you want to use it for? And a man will come say the same thing, or even ask for more, and maybe not even have a plan. And okay, that's okay. Tell me the plan. I can also tell you that raising investment is tough. You need to have your books in check, and it's not basic record keeping. There's a lot more that investors are asking for. So let me talk about the impacts for eating whole foods. I saw the brief, so I think I just need to talk about little bits of the things that we do at Eating Whole Foods and how we've been able to grow our market. So we've leveraged on every single thing that every panelist member has said in this panel session, from marketing to collaboration to applying for grants and winning and losing some, to actually accessing bank funding, right? So I came from the banking system, and very quickly I already knew like what was needed for my business to be able to be better positioned. But it was also very difficult to implement, and I'll tell you how. Because in the corporate system or sector, things are already in place. You're just like plug and play. You come in as a staff, oh, this is how we do this, this is the culture here, this is this here, this is this here. On the other side of the divide, it is tough. You would need to be the originator from start to finish. You will need to implement. So saying something, oh, we're going to do this, is not good enough. Making sure that it's actionable and broken down in little bits and pieces and actually taking up is very key. So as an entrepreneur, it's a lot more. And I agree wholeheartedly with what Adanne said. You know, when people see you maybe at events looking all good, they're like, I want to come on this other side. So while there are challenges, there are also the good moments, right? Because the work that you're doing can be easily projected. It can be easily related to you. And that is why social media platforms are also very important. I was having a conversation with my godfather. I mean, he's an amazing, amazing American trained architect. And he said something about, oh, wanting to hire a social media manager. And I said, oh, see, you need to put their KPI in check first. And then your social media footprint is also very poor. And he was like, contracts in Enugu, am I going to put it on social media? This one, am I going to do it? I said, Uncle, maybe you're not a social media person, you're a Generation X person. And that is one of the key problems your generation have. Like, they don't want to be linked to so many things, except a few people who are stepping out now, maybe like Kidwaya's father, who will be saying, oh, I'm in Milan, look at my hotel room. We don't want to really show that vainness part, but we want to quickly build a legacy, and that is what social media does for you. So I'll just take it away and talk about a little bit about social media. While I am not an influencer or a social media person, I've very recently, as at last year, learned that the great work I do, I need to be able to position and project even better. Because what does it do for you? It kind of speaks for you in rooms that you do not have access. So people are sizing you up in a room, or you're having a conversation, or you're even pitching. Now, even almost all grant applications or almost investment hubs ask for your social media footprints. Either they're probably going to check you out on Twitter where you're doing something good or bad. But most importantly, check out the amazing work that you're doing, because people can point out to you and say, oh, this person does this, this person does this. And your work can go ahead of you. And I think that's what celebrities leverage on. Like, if you see Genevieve at an airport, you're most likely going to know who she is. So you're going to give her access that you're not give to an ordinary person. So that is why we need to take our social presence very, very seriously. And there are just so many. So if you want to be professional, you should be on LinkedIn. If you want to show your daily work on what you do behind the scene, Instagram and Facebook really helps with that. If you want to connect with more communities, I mean, those social media helps. And the thing is that in the beginning, it is you doing almost every single thing. And because you do not have deep pockets to hire very experienced people, it means that you probably need to get yourself trained, then train somebody else. And because we are also in or at a stage where we are still growing, right? It means that your people, I mean, you're not going to wish them ill if they have opportunities more than you are actually giving them at the point in time. The transition. So you see that somebody you've trained maybe halfway or he's almost near perfect has added value already, and they're willing to move to higher pay. Not a lot of people will buy into your vision. But like I tell my team every single time, you're part of my vision. I need you to see the bigger picture. Because if I begin chop, if I don't have my begin chop, you're also definitely going to enjoy yourselves. But it takes time. It's a time of sowing. And Damilola will agree with me. When you clear your farmland, I think from the time you start tilling, then you clear, then you start planting, it's like nothing's going to happen here. But when the first plant breaks surface, I mean, you begin to become a bit more hopeful. You're praying for rain, you're praying for adequate sunshine, then you start staking, then it starts to grow. If it's still unripe, you're praying that I've planted watermelon one time and it was almost ready for harvest. The rains came and everything washed away. If you come back in a week, it looked like nothing was ever planted. So that is why they say farmers must be hopeful. And it runs through the value chain because there's so many risks that are beyond your control. So you need to really have a strong connection to God or whatever it is that you believe in. You also need to do your part. You need to have foresight. You need to do a lot more, much more than social media. But what am I saying? That all of this work that you put in, that you are able to put it out, let people see the effort. And it's always not rosy. All of us are entrepreneurs in this room. It is always not rosy. I and Eti were in Kigali, and her Facebook was brought down. She's taking, you do sponsored ads for people, for you to get traffic, for buyers to be able to put reviews. I think people rarely even give reviews after they paid for stuff. So it was very painful. I could actually relate to that. There's a lot more. That means probably farming. Sometimes you're not getting a robust harvest. And then you look at the time cycle of planting from seed to harvest, and you're not really getting that value. But then you're an entrepreneur, you're a farmer, you're a hopeful person, right? You don't run away. Like Adanne said, you persevere. You're wanting a yes, you're wanting a balance. You go again because you see that there's an opportunity there. So basically, if the government people are here, farmers need more support. Even producers need a lot more support. They're the technology innovation centers that you can leverage on to get your NAFDAC, but it's not enough. Equipments are also not very robust, and I've attended a few. I have a few products NAFDAC approved. I had to do it all on my own strength, bootstrapping. Currently, I am seeking for investment big time, and I know what I am going through. So I'm actually partnering where the collaboration kicks in, talking to people who have gone ahead before me and gotten funding to say, how did you do it? Can hold me, lead me right. So you need to also do those collaborations. It's very important. You cannot be an island being an entrepreneur. A lot of us are also very introverted. But when it comes to business, you need to socialize. You need to now intentionally network and work in those rooms where you want to be heard, where you want to be seen. You don't have to be the loudest person. I'm not the loud person. I'm very private. I mind my business and mind my family. But when it comes to my business, I will carry a microphone and dance in the market square if I have to get it done, because the job must be done. I was on Instagram a few days ago and telling the entertainer, we all know her. She said, oh, for 2 weeks, she's been very down with malaria. And then she said, oh, see, I had to go to Ondo because Lagos Sugar Mommy, money they come up from my pocket, they do refund. And then it was funny the way she was narrating it, but it was very, very relatable. Entrepreneurs never get sick. I'm at an event, I have a cold. Prior, I've had measles. Prior, my dad just passed on. So it's been back-to-back boss. But say we show up and don't come out looking like our problems because the job has to be done. So there's also the good times when the money is made and you're like, oh, if I'm in my 9 to 5 job, I won't make this kind of money. And that's the absolute truth. But it requires a lot of sacrifice and tenacity and intentionality and resilience. And then when you're a mom like me with children, you need to be present in your children's lives. I do not want them to become adults and I'll say I was chasing money. Like, hello. So we need to have and find that balance. We need to ask for support. If I say, and I know they ask again, I demand for support from family, because it's important that everybody comes together to get things done. So I cannot do it alone. I push myself much more than anybody else because, hey, it's my vision. A few days ago, I put out something on Instagram. I said, see, I'd gone through a lot bearing children. That was my biggest fear. But despite all of this, I've tenaciously grown my business from where it is. And I know that I have not even scratched the surface. And family didn't believe. And a lot of us in this room, family didn't believe that, oh, we wanted to go do this, especially if we had been trained in school. Some of us had been trained in like really expensive universities. So going to say I'm a farmer is almost like dirty job. What do they find there, right? But then God has placed this in your heart, and then it's something that can be done. If it was in another clime, California makes mega money for the US because, I mean, everything that you need, tech, people, capital, network is available. So when you say you want to be a farmer, in fact, I beg you to want to come and be a farmer. Sometimes they do this class of visa where people can come into farm or work in their fields. So it's applauded. But in Nigeria, it's not. But I'm hopeful because there's a lot of traction. The government is awakening it because somebody must feed us. People in the village feel that people in the township are the ones enjoying. So they want to also transition as that, like the 30 days makes a pay kind of job, right? So it means that we have fewer people growing food or even processing food. And all of this adds up to food security challenges that will keep on hitting us because more people will be born. People were never married today go still marry, born their own children. All of us go join. Yes, people are dying, but not at the same rate that people are giving birth. And I'm a twin mom. And when I look at the statistics, like I say, people give birth to twins even more now and triplets more than they did in the past. So it means that there will be more mouths to feed. And inflation is not going to come down anytime soon. So all hands must be on deck. It's an emergency call, basically, right? And we all need to work together as women. And, you know, we preach it in every room. So today is International Women's Day. Everybody in this room is a woman. But I've been seeing somebody as part of this program who is a man. And it's also very important that we don't even exclude the men in these conversations because we need them to understand where we are at and then how difficult it is also to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So we need their support. Because at the end of the day, I mean, when we scale and become the Folorosha Lakija of today or tomorrow, then I mean, everybody is going to want to say, oh, I know this person, I was part of their journey, or whatever it is that you put in that journey. It's very, very important. So, I mean, we must innovate, we must accelerate for action, and collaboration is one top on that. We need to also applaud ourselves as much as we can, even though I'm saying, oh, as an entrepreneur, you never find rest, you show up all the time. We need to intentionally care for ourselves because I've also learned along my journey in life that if you die, your own journey has ended. Nothing will happen. That tomato, somebody will probably harvest it and sell off for something, right? So it means that very quickly we should start raising people who buy into our vision, who can give us the kind of support we want while we're overseeing, so that as we're growing, then we can start getting people, even if they are paid, but people who have even better stake. I have a business, so I also consult. So I have a business I consult for. And when we did his restructuring, he said, oh, he wanted some of his team members to also have, every team member actually, to have a shareholding in the business. You must do 6 months, you must get shareholding in the business. And then when you are leaving, whether you work 1 year or 10 years, you can actually encash it and sell it back to the company because his own rule is that you cannot have shareholding in his business and work somewhere else. But if you can get it back at the current value, it makes sense. People worked in Paystack before, I mean, they were sold to Stripe. And when they sold their shares, they made big money. And it is one of the issues too in tech. And they say, so if your tech company, you bought shares in it, and then, I mean, it's valuated and the valuation really goes up and you sell, do you really want to keep working? Or you just want to go and enjoy life, right? Some people like to work. I like to work. I think if I don't even work, I'll fall sick, right? But I also understand I need to take a chill pill sometimes and just vacation in the Maldives, right? So it's a mix of having to do what we need to do, raising the right people, having the right mindset while pursuing the vision that God has laid in our hearts to pursue. And things like collaboration are key. I'm not going to talk about market access. Damilola has done fantastic to that topic already, but she's explaining it as I would have explained it because this is something that we have to do. You're the marketer, you're the customer service, you're the CEO, you're every single thing. You will do the attitudinal check so that and be the person in front so that your staff members actually know what is expected of them. right? So we need support. We need everybody's support, family support, societal support, government support. We need to set up more innovation centers where women can actually come together and use facilities at a reduced cost. Rent is crazy, like crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm having to move location and look for a bigger space because we are scaling. And the next thing for us is to get like a bigger space. But I can't even get it in Surulere, the location where I am in. And my facility is big enough. But I know that I need to do this and it's out of pocket. So it's a lot. So if those kind of subsidies are in play, then it makes life a bit easier. And then you can actually do a lot more and achieve a lot more and scale faster. So the thing is that if you were in a properly set climb, you could have scaled in 3 to 5 years. But then, I mean, this is Nigeria. 3 to 5 years is to find out whether you're actually going to survive as a business or not. And then the time that you'd have used to scale will be extended longer to maybe when you're doing 10 years or 12 years. Sometimes I've seen people just scale in their 15th year. Why is it that long? Because we do not have the right support, the facility, the finance that is needed. So if we did get this support, then I think we can achieve much more faster. So let's all join hands to work together and accelerate action for good and keep pushing. And I wish us the very best on this International Women's Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ozioma. So I think at this point, I would maybe stand in for Baliqees. I guess network is not doing so good where she is the reason she's unable to join. But either way, I think we've come a long way. And looking at the program she has sent, this is just about time for more question and answers or general interaction, and then we can do call to action, which is closing remark. Okay, any comments or questions? Okay, in the absence of questions, okay, so call to action. So I'll quickly go back to my slide and just reel out the call to action again as a takeaway for everyone. I know some people joined after I'd spoken earlier. Empowering women in agriculture is not just about equity. It is about economic growth, food security, and sustainable development. As we mark this International Women's Day, let us commit, each and every one of us, to advocating for policy reforms that promote women's land rights, financial inclusion, and entrepreneurship. I know the panelists have done justice to this as well. Investing in women-led agribusinesses through targeted funding and training programs. It would also be nice when you hear of opportunities to share within your agri circles. That would be very helpful. I know within the Lagos Agrinnovation Club, people are always sharing for initiatives that they hear about that can be helpful to the next person. So in your little clusters as well, you can create those, you can create an environment like that, or that helps you share the knowledge that you know, initiatives, opportunities for others as well. Then number 3, leveraging technology and innovation to bridge the gender gap in agricultural productivity. Number 4, strengthening networks and mentorship opportunities for women in agribusiness. And lastly, supporting women's leadership in policy making at all levels. We are women, and I'd really like us to walk away from this session or from this program knowing that we have all the power that we need. We are all that we need. We're more than enough. Thank you all. for attending this session. Looking forward to the mindful testimonies that hear about for all the businesses here. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Funmi.
Thank you very much.